Warzone is a pretty graphic intensive game. Today I'm going to cover 10 settings that will instantly improve your performance in Warzone. Welcome back to COD Central TV. Let's get into the video. Number 10, for beginners, turn tooltips on. Tooltips will be set on to when the player first downloads the game. However, a lot of beginners feel that they don't need them and think they can just get away, so they immediately turn them off. This is a major mistake for beginners because these tooltips can help provide useful information that they may not have known about the game. Number 9, turn up gameplay effect sound. This music should always be turned down in a game that requires players to communicate with teammates, and even though it's only in the lobby, it's still a notable setting for players that may not have even realized they had too high. The sound effects within the game, such as footsteps and gunshots, can also be turned up so that players can hear them better, which will also improve their performance in-game. It's worthwhile to always keep the sound slider for gameplay audio high, and every player should immediately adjust this when loading into the game for the first time. If a player can't hear gunshots and footsteps, then they will likely lose a match very quickly. Number 8, controller vibration. This is a subjective tip, however some console players get shocked and freaked out when they feel powerful controller vibrations, and it only detracts from their skill at playing the game. This isn't how every player functions. For players that do get more freaked out by the feeling of the controller vibrating, they should turn it off.
Tosses.
Number 7, choose the aim assist setting that matches their playstyle. There are 4 different aim assist settings. Standard, which is aim slowdown while near an enemy. Precision, which is a stronger aim slowdown, however it only kicks in while very close to an enemy. Focusing, aim slowdown that activates when barely missing the enemy, best for new players. And there is also a disabled aim assist mode. Different players will need different auto aim settings. Number 6, auto move forward. This setting is present in lots of different shooters, and it can be quite helpful when players need to pick up their drink or check their phone during a play session. This setting allows the player to double tap on the left joystick or W key and start moving forward without pressing their controller or keyboard. This is especially useful because a lot of players need to be able to check their phone in case something comes up, so not having to look at the screen for a few seconds can be quite a large help. However, it should be noted that this should be activated with caution because an enemy could shoot the player while they are distracted.
Final deployment is moving up. Make it quick.
Number 5, crossplay. This is another subjective setting that some players will keep on and some won't. However, crossplay is an important decision to make when playing Warzone. Some players don't want to play with people on other consoles because of different controller setups and skill level gaps. Most players overlook this setting. Keeping crossplay on or turning it off will be a major factor that will determine how well the player does against enemies. Number 4, automatic sprint. There are 3 options for this setting. Disable, which makes sprint only activate when the sprint button is pressed. Automatic sprint, which makes the player immediately sprint once they are standing and moving forward. And automatic tactical sprint, which allows the player to immediately start tactical sprinting when they move forward and are standing up. Players will need to decide for themselves whether they want to auto sprint, and it can be quite a useful feature for players that choose not to engage enemies very often and are more prone to running away from a fight. Regardless, it's a setting worth considering that will help players perform better.
I'll drive.
Number 3, adjust sensitivity. This is one of the most important settings in any game that is first person, and many players neglect it because they want to jump right into the action. Sensitivity needs to be adjusted to a person's personal preferences, and not doing so will result in bad performance, especially if the player is used to using a different sensitivity on other games. There's no one-size-fits-all for sensitivity settings. However, most players tend to turn their sensitivity up at least a little bit, so that's a good starting point for players that are new to FPS games. Players should adjust their sensitivity immediately after getting on Warzone for the first time. Number 2, depleted ammo weapon switch. This setting will allow the player to immediately switch their weapon when they've depleted their ammo magazine, and it can be both beneficial and detrimental to keep on. In certain situations, this could be a lifesaver because the player won't have to fiddle with switching their gun. However, other players may not like their secondary gun and would prefer to reload their main weapon. Number 1, square minimap. The square minimap is without a doubt the most useful setting to change when playing Warzone. The player will immediately start with a round-shaped minimap. However, this will only allow them to see a small portion of the map, while the square minimap will increase the view of the world around them quite a bit. Many players completely overlook this setting and don't even know that it exists, so this setting definitely deserves the highest spot on this list. Every player should immediately change this because there is no downside and it will immediately improve their performance in game. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.